I try to tell myself after what happened to that place where I got broken in, I told myself, I'm going to restart again. All these things is all going to be gone. I'm going to restart. And so I did. But then I got COVID. And so I told myself, okay, I'm fine. I'm going to restart again. And then something else happened. And then I told myself, it's okay. I'm going to restart again. After the fourth time, I told myself, what the actual is happening? Because this whole year, nothing really good happened to me. Welcome to the Marketer's Lounge podcast. This is your host, Demi Bernice. Welcome. This is the first episode of the podcast. Apparently, I have 4 podcasts now. I don't know what happened back there. But I do know that this podcast is going to stay here for a while. And it's going to be quite a ride. We will be talking about everything else that is not freelancing. We're going to be talking about freelancing too from time to time. But then we will be jumping out of that circle and explore what else is there in the digital marketing world. But of course, this is the first episode. We're going to be chill. We'll just try to forget about marketing first. Because again, this is the first episode. I want it to be introductory and I want it to be chill. So we'll be talking about new beginnings. It's been 3 months since 2022 has entered the building. And as for me, the conclusion is this year is doing really good so far. So there's a lot of new beginnings that I have in my life. And the podcast in itself is a new beginning because I'm sitting in here doing a podcast for you. And if you're watching this on YouTube, we actually have a version of this on Spotify. And if you're listening to this on Spotify or Apple Podcasts, we actually have a version of this on YouTube that you can binge watch on your smart TVs. This is per the requests of the people that have been watching me for a while. They were saying, I really want to listen to you while running on a treadmill, but your videos are just, too long. They don't have an audio version. And I really want to listen to you and watch you and learn whatever you have to say about digital marketing, but I really need to wash the dishes. The wash the dishes bit was like, that is actually a really good idea to wash the dishes while listening to something, but you're not going to see me wash the dishes because I don't like washing the dishes. That is my, I wouldn't say most hated. I don't really understand the dishes part. Not that I don't understand it, but kind of I don't understand my burning apathy towards washing dishes. I think it was because my mom back in the day when I was a kid would always say, hey, Demi, you need to wash the dishes now. We're done eating, whatever. And then I'm in my phone because I'm addicted or sort of probably in a puppy love situation texting my boyfriend at that time. And, I really don't want to wash the dishes. It's just tedious, routinary, and I have been doing it every day when I was a kid. And so when I started becoming an adult, I started hiring a helper. And, I used to still do it. There was even someone on my Instagram that told me, hey, Miss Demi, you probably need to start buying a dishwasher so that you just put it there, wash the dishes, that kind of stuff. I actually do want to do that, but, we'll see what happens. My partner in life, Earl, actually is the one that is washing the dishes for us, which is very cool. He's part of my new beginnings, by the way. So I'm currently in a new relationship. And ta-da, to those who doesn't know yet, to those who knew that I was going to get married, but apparently that stuff did not really work out. That's a story for another time. I don't want to dive into that. But yeah, I was supposed to get married. That didn't happen. I fell in love, and that's who I have right now. And I'm actually very happy that someone is there taking care of me. It's my first time. This is the first time in my life that there's someone who is actually ... is taking care of me. I used to take care of people a lot. And it's different when you are the one being taken care of. And that's one of the things that I fell in love with Earl, is that he takes care of me. He always knows what I need, even before I say it. Yeah, it's just a completely different life. And of course, I, on the other hand, takes care of him, because I just said it. I like taking care of people, but it would also be nice if someone is taking care of you. I don't know if you understand me, but to the people out there who have been taking care of other people all their lives, is completely different if you have someone come into your life and be like, hold up, Missy, I'm gonna be taking care of you from now on. Yeah, it's just amazing. Like super, super amazing. What can I say? I'm in love. I'm happy. And if you're seeing it, if you're watching this in a video podcast on YouTube, I actually have gained a little bit of weight. If you can see my arms, they're a little bit big, right? So I used to be in 48, 49 kilos. Now I am 55, 56. So I gained a lot. I don't even want to do the math on that one because it just hurts me. But I do think that I look better. Not because I'm fat. I don't think I'm fat. I'm okay, this is a normal, according to body mass index. I am okay. Like, I'm in the normal weight period. But, someone used to tell me that, hey, you're 45 kilos, you're fat. I'm 45, like literally, like, stop eating this because you're fat. You're this. And I'm like, what? That kind of stuff. It really hurt me then because that person was very special to me, and there was non-stop body shaming in there. Even if I was actually very thin and skinny. So I just realized that too when I started looking back on my YouTube channel, and the last time that I published a video was December, and I was so skinny. Like, literally you could see my face on an oval shape with a very sharp jaw. And I told myself, I was like, wow, that is so skinny. And I looked back further in a couple of my videos before that, and I told myself, I was like, whoa, I was not eating. Like, literally, what the hell was I doing? And of course, because, the same person who told me that, you're fat, you're 45 kilos, you're fat, you're chubby, you're whatever. It was just this whole, like, that person's opinion was so important to me that whatever that person says, I had to just do something about it, And so, yeah, it was tiring. It was very tiring. It was an emotionally tiring situation. Anyway, here I am now. People have been telling me that I look prettier. I do have a belly though. I don't know. I probably need to exercise. My partner in life is actually a very active person. Does hiking, running, biking, all these things. He's super physically active. And so I love that part of him. And I also really want to do that too, in a sense that I don't really exercise that much anymore, and I don't want to get fat, like really, really fat. I'm in a normal body mass index right now, so I don't want to, move further and become like super fat. I just want to, and I want to stay here and maintain it. Okay. So apart from that I'm in a new relationship, I'm in a new beginning kind of a house. So this house I found in a different city. It's a super nice place, and it's a 200 square meter house with 3 floors. It's so big for just 2 people and 3 pets. It is really big, but to me, what matters is that I have a space now to record videos. It's super nice, right? And also, I'm the one who bought all these furnitures in here. And so to be able to say that I have a house that I really, really wanted, because I'm the one who bought all of these things, is just awesome. Should be done by the people who are owning this place. But now it's like, I need to take care of this. I'm not going to let my cats scratch this because I just bought this something. So I'm feeling more responsible. A couple of heavy weightlifting responsibility for the whole entire place to be maintained and cleaned, right? Alrighty. Apart from that, this one is the one that I'm most extremely excited about. So as I'm recording this video, I am in the process of getting a car. So I just learned how to drive like January 24. Literally January 24 to February 28, I have been driving nonstop. I have been a student driver. I had 8 hours in manual transmission and 4 hours in automatic transmission. The car that I'm getting is an automatic transmission car, and it's a super smart car that is not super smart car, but it's one of the most intelligent cars in the lineup of Ford. Ford in itself really makes sure that the cars are intelligent, right? So it has a lot of these, technology systems, whatever that is, that will ensure that I'm safe. It doesn't drive itself yet. But it's a super awesome car. It's my first car, and I'm excited about it because I'm now driving around the city. So good luck to the traffic here in Cebu City, Mandaue City, and Lapu-Lapu City. I will be facing them all with open arms. Yeah, apparently. So part of the cons of you getting a car is that you need to face the depth and the heat and the sun and the traffic jams and the whatever that is, that that is being enveloped in the roads of this whole place in Cebu. But anyway, that is good. I got a nice car. That's all that I need to think about. But yes, what else is there as a new beginning? I got a dog. That is, whoa, like, if you're going to think about me, Demi Bernice, cat mom, and then I'm now partnered up with a guy who is a super dog person, but it wasn't his decision to get the dog, it was mine. Because partly that's also my way of taking care of another person, making sure that they have everything that they want. And so Earl is not really a cat person, but he is trying to understand cats too, because of course, the cats are important to me. And so he plays with cats. But what I do notice is that when we're in their place, they have a couple of dogs. And when we're in somebody else's place that has a dog, he would just like go crazy with the dogs. And I was like telling myself that I really want a dog for us. I really want a dog for me and Earl, because if there's a bond between me, the cats, and Earl, I also want to make sure that there's a bond between Earl, the dog, and me. And so I talked to one of my friends saying like, hey, when are your dogs going to, get pregnant again with new puppies and all, because we were planning to really get a Shih Tzu. But then we went to Danao City. I drove there for 2 hours, and it was crazy because there was this dog near his grandfather's or grandparents' wake. Not really wake, but the graveyard. So we went there to visit his grandfather's or grandparents' graveyard. The caretaker, Shira, told us that dog was really about to be thrown away, and they were the one keeping it, but she can't really afford feeding the dog with chicken, because the dog only wants chicken. And apparently here in the house we have a lot of chickens, because the cats do love chicken so much. And so I was like, this has to be meant to be. Like this dog has to be meant for us. And so great timing, because I rented a car that day, and so I told Earl that let's just take her with us. So Earl talked to the keeper, the grave keeper, told her that we're going to take her, so and so. We managed to get that dog, adopted it, rescued it, and we have a dog now. We named her Stella. At least I named her Stella. I'm the one who thinks about the names here. Stella, because I knew that I wanted to name her after the midnight sky, because her fur is very dark, charcoal-ish. It's like a combination of gray, black, and white. And I told Earl that the fur is really nice. It looks like it is resembling midnight. And so that's why I named her Stella, because it means stars, right? So it has something to do with the midnight sky. So I didn't really want to name her Midnight because it's common, but I do want a name that has something to do with the midnight sky. And so that's why we named her Stella. Yeah, so talk about new beginnings, huh? So that's what I have in terms of the new beginnings. I think that's all I can think of. I don't know if there is. Oh my God, there's another one. So apart from this podcast, we also have a very new course. Ta-da-da! So we have Create and Rise Academy, my flagship course that is about freelancers, right? So if you are an aspiring freelancer, Create and Rise Academy is for you. Our goal is to make 100,000 pesos per month as a Filipino freelancer. Right, that's the platform and the flagship in itself of CRA. And now we are planning to create a course on a different venue and arena of digital marketing. And I haven't really written it yet, but the curriculum is already outlined. So I'm excited. I am planning to do a whole week of videos this week. And then when I'm done with that, I'm going to proceed with writing the curriculum next week. So that one, super excited too. Alrighty, talking about new beginnings, let's dive a little about what happened to me in my 2021 and why did I decide to make sure that 2022 is going to be a new beginning. Well, for one, I got my house broken in. So the beginning of the year was okay, and then I got my house broken in where the developer was denying that they have something to do with it. They really did not make sure that the security was tightened. So a lot of units have been broken in the past 3 months or 4 months in that condo area. And they really didn't, I guess they did try to tighten the security, but then again, the thieves still got their way in or whatever. And then what happened to me was there were a lot of blood that was spilled on the floor. No one died, but the person who broke in, he shed a lot of blood on my kitchen floor. And at first, of course, I thought that it was by the cats. But with that amount of blood, number one, I should be able to see it in my cat's body. Number two, the cats should have died already with that amount of blood. And so, the developer denied it. The developer, together with their security team, denied it. Like, no, this is really not this is not a crime scene. This is just your cats. There were fingerprints in the bathroom, and they were saying like, no, this is not a fingerprint. This is like cat aberrations. This whole thing, like, it was very physically, or not really physically, but mentally traumatizing. And the developer did not really respect that. The person who owned the unit still asked me to pay the next 3 months because I did not finish the contract. The contract was good for 6 months. I lived there for 3 months. The owner wanted me to pay the rest of the 3 months still. Because, this is not whatever. You still need to pay that on top of something fee. What was it called? I forgot what fee was that. But the owner was saying you need to early termination fee or pre-termination fee of the contract and something, because it's pandemic. We're gonna have a hard time looking for another person to rent the unit or whatever. So a lot of that stuff happened. Luckily, there were no legal actions, but even if there were, I would say that it's a little bit crazy that I'm the one who is mentally traumatized, but then people are blaming me for it. It was nuts. And then, of course, I allegedly got COVID. I do not know if it was COVID, but I did feel like I'm the only one in the house. So it was impossible for me to be able to go out and do a test. So I just, isolated myself for 14 days, I think. And while that was happening, I tried to go up and down the stairs, and it was just like really like, I felt like I've ran half a mile, like just going up and down the stairs. And it's really not that much steps. It's only a few. But it was crazy experience. I also had a hard time sleeping because it's like my lungs is really deep, and I cannot even describe how it was, but I do really think it was COVID. I did not even need a test to say that it was. It was just that it was evident that was the first time that I felt a fever that strong not really strong. It's manageable, but the things that go with it, like shortness of breath, that kind of stuff, it's just new to me. I have had a season in my life, for example, when I was still a kindergarten teacher, and I always get stressed. I always get fever every single month, and I know I can manage it. I know I can manage fever, but how come that type of fever was so different? And so I claim that it was COVID. So that there was that. What are other things that happened to me in 2021? Oh, a lot of projects were canceled. It wasn't because of the pandemic. It was more of like change of mind. And then, yeah, plenty more things. At that point of my life, I was thinking, this is crazy. We probably shouldn't even be here. I was telling myself, I was talking like Demi. That's why I said we. So I told myself, like, we probably shouldn't even be here. Like, this is a joke, all these things that are happening to you this year. It's just a series of unfortunate events, like literally. And so one after the other, a bunch of crazy shit. And I try to tell myself, after what happened to that place where I got broken in, I told myself, I'm going to restart again. Like, all these things, it's all going to be gone. I'm going to restart. And so I did. But then I got COVID. And so I told myself, okay, I'm fine, I'm going to restart again. And then something else happened. And then I told myself, it's okay, I'm going to restart again. After the fourth time that there was something that happened to me at that year, I told myself, what the actual fuck is happening? Because this whole year, nothing really good happened to me. So I was like, okay, after being broken in, after having COVID, after this thing happened, I think this is enough. Like, I was telling myself, this can't be happening. Why am I having a series of unfortunate events chain? And so I told myself that this is new, and I allowed myself to rest. I allowed myself to cry, and I just cried a bunch of freaking tears. Like, really, I was alone in the house and just cried and cried and cried. I had therapy sessions with a psychotherapist. I just had these whole therapy sessions, making myself feel better and like talking to that person, and until I started getting better. And that was like probably around October. So the whole year from January to October, I was not well until October, end of the month. That was when I started becoming or feeling better. And I told myself that 2022, everything is going to be different. We're going to restart for real. If there's going to happen that is not what I wanted, or that is not what I planned for, if things are not turning out the way I wanted them to be, here's the following steps that I'm going to take. Okay? So I'm sharing that list to you also today. Number 1, assess why it happened. Is it because of other people, or is it because of you? So number 1 is super important, because you have to firstly assess the situation, not conclude right away. So if you have remembered, when we were in high school and we were thinking about solving investigative problems in science, or thinking about inventing something after all, the first thing about problem solving was really that, what is happening? What are the variables? Now, there are a couple of questions that you need to answer, right? And in this case, if you are solving your very own problem, and if you're planning to get back up after a failure, I would allow yourself, or simply ask yourself, why is this happening? Is it because of other people, or is it because of me? If it's because of other people, let it go. It's out of your control. You can allow yourself to feel all the emotions there is, but at the end of the day, that's it. That's just it. That's the extent that you can do, is allow yourself to feel what you're feeling. But then again, that's out of your control. It's somebody else's life, right? It's not your life. You cannot control it. But if it's because of you, then you can start asking, okay, it's because of me. What are the things that I did to enable this thing to happen? List that down, right? Step number 2, like what I said, allow yourself to feel all the emotions there is, but with time limit. Super important. Allow yourself to feel whatever emotions there are, negative, positive. If you're angry, sad, frustrated, whatever emotions you have there as of that moment, Allow yourself to feel that emotion, but make sure that there is a time limit. Step 3, plan your next move. I love planning, but I also hate it when plans don't go together or plans don't turn out the way I wanted them to be. But of course, the beauty of planning is that you can always change it. And you can always ensure that there's a next plan after the next after the next. And so if you fail the first plan, you can always plan another one, which is step 3, plan your next move. So if you have failed today, you can't just sit in there and think, oh my God, I've failed. I suck as a person. Like, I cannot do this. I give up on life. Like, I cannot do this anymore. But, you have to think about it as one of those obstacles that you have when you were in Girl Scouts or in Boy Scouts. That is just another obstacle. And then, there's a finish line right over there. So you just have to plan your next move, which would also lead me to step number 4, move your next plan. So it looks super easy, huh? Yeah. That's the action plan or the 4-step process that I told myself I'm going to do if I'm ever going to fail again. And so, this is a good podcast about new beginnings. I love it. I hope that you learned something out from it. And take note of those things, please. And I'll see you in the next episode.